I had a choice to wake up in the morning today, get a haircut, and then come and meet you here, you know?
Yeah.
Reach for growth, reach for more. Performance marketing, hardcore. Tune in, listen, hear the lore. Reach for growth.
Hello. As digital marketeers, we always have this feeling of balancing 100 things at once. From technical to non-technical, like 1 minute you deep dive in data, the second you're trying to come up with the next big creative idea. And it is draining, right? So it is important nowadays to try to understand what we need to focus on, because among all of that, it is easy to forget our strongest weapon, which our peak performance. By performing constantly at our peak, we can ensure that we are irreplaceable, or as Nassim Taleb says, we become anti-fragile. So I'm excited for today's session. I have Dr. Usama Nuri here with me. He's an expert when it comes to unlocking growth and peak performance, and we're going to discuss strategies that we, digital marketeers, we can use it to perform at our peak, understand what are the enemies of peak performance, and how we can overcome them. Dr. Usama, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Jamal. Thank you for having me.
I'm super excited to have you. I have a ton of questions. And I want to start first, but you telling me your stories. You have a lot of stories. It's not one story.
Do I? Okay. It's not unique. It's very
Don't be
boring.
humble.
It's very boring to say the least. I mean, my stories are very typical stories. I was born and raised in the UAE. I call it home. I was very mundane in the sense of go to school, get your grades, get your university degree, get your job, then try to work the corporate ladder, then try to be as hardworking as possible until you reach to a position where you're able to get, whatever end of life results, whatever it is that you want to achieve. And that's, to me, that was the dream, until COVID hit. And then I was like, whoa, there's something outside of these rails that they've set for us, right? And and the rest is history. I just got out of the rail, and then all of a sudden there's a massive world. It's like massive world, like Narnia, outside of that. And I got my degrees as part of my conforming to the to what the world would like you to have. For example, your MBAs, your doctorate degree, your certificates, your 3-letter acronyms, all of those stuff was part of, this is what you have to do to be successful. And then I'm like, okay, I got those. Now what? Nothing.
When was that? When was this moment?
I can remember almost specifically. It was probably 2010, 2011.
Yeah. So way before COVID.
No, I mean, okay. So that is the time where I started to think something is not right. Not wrong, but something is not right. I mean, we're all intents and purposes. I was always a high-paid, sort of successful, high achiever. I was my first job as a boss of a large team. I was 28, and to me that was like, whoa! I still have the photo of me wearing the tie and the suit and the kind of suitcase, and my wife just took a photo of me. It's like, yeah, this is the first time you've been a boss of a team, right? And it meant nothing. Like you just go from one achievement to the other, from one growth to the other. But it felt nothing. It's like, okay, what's next? Not what's next for me, what's expected from me. Like what does the world want from me? And that was 2010 when I thought that something is not right. 2011, but I didn't know, because we'll talk about it. You don't know what you don't know, right? Until something massive happens, and that was the COVID. Now I wasn't impacted personally, thank God, alhamdulillah. But most of my friends were, and this is where it kind of got me reflecting. It was like, wait. I don't have a choice. Like, it's not me who is actually deciding. It's someone else, whether my employer, the system, the government, something else that's outside of me, that's deciding my own value, right? And to me, that was the shock. That was sort of the build-up. So it was a 10-year kind of build-up.
Oh.
But then the pinnacle, the kind of inflection point was COVID. And then this is where it was a wake-up call, and then the rest is history. Yeah.
So, okay, so I guess this is very important to understand, to go to, or to hope for peak performance, is first understanding our vision and to understanding our own, how we are programmed in a way. And I really want you to deep dive into, like, when you say that was expected from me, not what you really wanted. So, first of all, what's wrong of just following expectations of others, in your opinion and from your experience? And second, what is the other possibility or the other option if you followed your own?
Are we independent? I think it's all about independence, right? And independence is a concept that many people talked about, especially when it comes to your own well-being, right? If you wake up in the morning thinking that I can do whatever I want, you know, provided that it's within the perimeters of your own growth, self-development, you know, it's like something positive, but it's you who decides what is that. This is the key. Are you actually independent? Now, you could be an employee and independent. I don't know. You could be a freelancer and independent. You could be a business owner. You could be an investor, whatever it is. But I think the question is it you who decides your own destiny? At least to a large degree. Now, obviously, we don't decide at 100 degree, but to a larger degree. But if I woke up in the morning and I thought to myself, you know what? I have to take permission from X, Y, and Z to do A, B, and C every time, all the time. To me, that's a problem. To me.
Yeah.
Some other people are okay. So that's why I don't want to kind of project my own perceptions or project my own sort of aspiration to the people. But generally speaking, that was my kind of nagging, how do I say it, reality that kept me at unease, you know? And this is why to me it was wrong. Now, to someone else it could be right. More power to them,
100%,
right?
because it's mainly about your own value, the value of independence for you, or freedom in another way. It's so important for you, and it kept you uncomfortable for a long period of time because you felt it's missing.
Yeah. But what is it for you? I'm interested. I mean, what is it for you?
I guess I'm a little bit similar, maybe on 2010 compared to you. Maybe, I don't know.
That's good. Then you can crash time, because it took me 10 years to actually realize it and become aware of it. Now you're aware of it, but at 2010, so you can achieve it much earlier.
And I'm figuring it out, honestly, too. But like, it's also like, because a lot of the time when I talk to people and from my colleagues and people younger than me, they feel the idea that it's all wishy talk. It's all about dreams. And
what's wishy talk?
Like the values, like at the end of the day, I have bills to pay. At the end of the day, I cannot be independent 100%.
Who decides?
The market is so bad.
Exactly. But who decides when and how do you pay your bills? Is it you, or is it your employer, right? Or is it someone else? Maybe your client. Maybe the system. I don't know. You know, that's the problem, is that there's a tension between what's your obligations, right? You have to put food on the table. If you have kids, you have schooling, you have healthcare, you have your parents, you have your whoever it is that depends on you. You have the utilities, bills, all that sort of stuff. So that's one tension. But then what's feeding into your livelihood that allows you to comfortably and confidently know that, I am in control of doing my obligations? Because it's one of two things. Either you let go of your obligations, that's not a good prospect, or you have total control over the input, right? And that's the key. Now, if that key, you don't have control over it, how does that make you feel?
Really bad, almost desperate. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Because think about because when you're talking, I think about control, and for me, control is more about perception. Like even if I'm in a situation, I can't control zero output out of it. I can control how I can behave, at least how I can handle it, which is always a power that no one can take it away from me. Control in this essence doesn't mean that I have to be 100% independent, starting my own business, starting my own thing. And because even if you reach there, you still, as you mentioned, you have clients. that also controlling you on a shape or form. But I really like the idea that you brought in about independence, and I think independence and control, it's more about a mindset by itself.
But is it?
Now, what's your opinion?
You see, the thing that the talk, I mean, it's easy to talk about mindset.
Mhm.
I mean, you find all of those gurus that talk about mindset. What does mindset mean? What do you think? What's mindset to you?
A state of mind,
What's the state of mind?
like things that you are living. A state of mind, like
Exactly, it's
حالة.
fluff. It's fluff. I mean, that's what I'm trying to say.
not
It's fluff. It's look. The problem with discussing, I mean, I'm not devaluing or discounting the concept of mindset, right? But the problem is when we as people who are living their lives, they're just trying to get by, do things for others, make an impact in the world. We just parrot and just copy what those gurus that just kind of talk about what is mindset really? I mean, I always grappled with this concept of mindset and concept of, what the lens that you see the world with. Just get real, just wake up, do your workout, read a book, work on a plan, have a clear plan. It doesn't matter how your mindset, it doesn't matter how you feel about it. What's your mindset today or tomorrow? It doesn't matter there are things that are correct and right. One of which is you have to make sure that you're always, exactly what you would look like a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now. That's not a mindset, in my opinion, right? That's reality. If I wake up in the morning today and I felt, you know what, I don't feel like it. Okay, good. Stay in bed. But don't complain about a year from now when you're still in the dungeons, That's so. Now, I'm not saying that mindset is not real. But the talk about mindset, it's fluff without the substance. I'm a person, I'm very kind of, and it's funny I'm saying this because I completely believe in mindset. Don't get me wrong there, right? It's a very strong, very real concept. But the problem with mindset is that it's like religion. It's like politics, Everybody talks about it.
Yeah, it's a cult, yeah.
It's like a cult. Like, everybody's like, and you find this guru who just goes into this podcast and starts kind of dramatizing and publicizing a certain concept about mindset, and everybody's just following. It's like, okay, do you even know what the meaning of it? Do you understand what you have to do? Do you know the behavior that you have to kind of literally do? When you wake up, you do, like put down that chocolate bar or go to the gym and actually lift weights. Put yourself under stress. That's not a mindset. That's actually something you do. Mindset will follow. But if we start with mindset, you'll always get stuck into something that you don't understand the meaning of. And it's just going to feed into your dopamine sort of rush because you had this video or you talked about that in a setting with a person. No. Just forget about mindset. Forget about motivation. Forget about all of those sort of mental kind of highs that you seek every now and then. Just do. Know what you want to achieve first and foremost, and then go after it. That's it. That's as simple as it can get. If it means that you have to pick up a book and actually actively learn a new skill that will allow you to create value from thin air, or you have to go to the gym and become healthy and look good and be confident, or learn to speak, learn interpersonal skills, networking. Those are learnable skills that are sellable, that will actually increase your value, that will make you independent. Those are the things that we should think about. Mindset, yeah.
Okay, I guess this is very interesting. Okay, so let me try to understand more. Okay, so first, when you discuss about mindset, I got the idea that it's more for you. It's more like a feeling or an emotional state. That mindset might be equal to, I'm going to do this because I feel like X, Y, or Z. But for me, or maybe the angle I'm coming from, and again, I'm just trying to understand more, is more about like when we are on a typical situation, how we decide to show up You know, when we are faced with uncertainties, when we're faced with challenging situation, how we decide to show. And of course, we need always to do the right thing, that we know it's the right thing. And again, the right thing in terms of the circumstances or the situation that we are operating in. But it's more about this kind of, it's a thought, or maybe it's like a DNA in mind that decides like, hey, this is not how I behave. Like, for example, when you say, hit the gym, don't eat the chocolate bar. Why? Like, this is this kind, and again, it can go so philosophical and so deep, because why I'm supposed to do this? Why I'm supposed to do the hard choice? Because maybe I see some values, or as you said, like see myself in the future within the next 1 year or 3 years, or maybe I have a certain image, even because in suffering, and even if the situation doesn't make sense. And, you know, we are in the Middle East and we have a lot of tough situations happening. And what comes to my mind right now is Viktor Frankl, a man searching for meaning, and his experience with concentration camps. Like, you can be in a situation that's really tough, that has no positive outlook, but you still decide to act in a certain way, not because of an emotional state, but because there is something wired somewhere in your mind, and you can actually change it or work on it to make it better. More about like an idea about who you are and your value to the world, especially when the world is not so kind to you.
Look, you're bringing a very interesting point, which is the difference between feeling, you know, the emotional state, and what makes you decide to do something, right? Now, I agree with you. I mean, mindset is not feeling per se. Mindset is an interpreter. It's the way you see the world with. Now, whether you want to pick up that chocolate bar or not, whether you want to hit the gym or not, that's not what I'm saying, right? I'm saying if you want to hit the gym, if that's something you want, not the world wants you to do it, you want, just do it. Like the mindset element has zero influence on that, because I'm a big proponent of ultimate personal responsibility. So what I mean by that is it's all about choices. I had a choice to wake up in the morning today, get a haircut, and then come and meet you here, you know? Yeah. Like it's a choice.
Yeah. But like let's go back into your experience. Like, for example, you were following the path that has been drawn to you, like being an engineer or a technical person, which was a surprise for me.
Yeah.
But then something changed in your mind. This something changed you actually over the years you fed it and you improved it till the point it influenced you to take the right action, to maybe change your career or pursue something else and all of that. And I guess this fundamental change that and again, I'm not talking about the hyped emotional state, like I'm not feeling like it, so I'm not going to do it. I'm talking about the more fundamental change, and how, if we can shed the light into this part, can actually be so beneficial to everyone who's listening to us.
Look, again, it is mindset. It is feeling. It is circumstances. It is the environment around you. It is the resources that you have at your disposal. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that the advantages that I have, you know, or unfair advantages that I have is the same as someone who's sitting in a war zone, right? That's absolutely not. The same way that I'm not going to sit here and pretend that, oh, it's my choices that made me come to where I am, whereas another person who grew up all his life in a family where their choices were bad, right? So I'm not gonna pretend that. There is a massive element of luck. But to your point, what was the thing that made me think? It's nothing. It's just me seeking awareness. It's when I'm in an unease, like I'm not, like something is not right, you know? Like there's an element of, you know, I'm not satisfied. I'm not happy. I don't want to be again too metaphysical and too emotional in the sense of, no, not that. It's just that know your purpose. Know why you're here. Everybody on the face of the earth has this question. What am I doing here? It's not in a religious term. Don't get me wrong there. Not in the philosophical term. Just in the kind of in the kind of routinic way. Like every day you wake up, you do things, you go back, you get angry easily, you get triggered easy. There are things, there are telltales that if you're not paying attention to it, then you're not human. You know what I mean? Every human being is getting signals every day about the quality of life they're living. Now, if you're not, and this should be your trigger, right? Because otherwise, then you're a hopeless case, and there's nothing that could. I mean, listen. I'm harsh in this situation, because at the end of the day, if you are not taking responsibility of your own destiny, no one will, right? And I'm not the kind of person who will sit here and advocate that everyone has to be this or that. No, and no one should care, right? Now, we should care about bringing awareness, and I love what you're doing. I mean, having a podcast, speaking to people about this is a big, massive part of what I'm thinking of, which is bringing awareness, which is step one, right? Step one is awareness. So if you talk about me, I was at unease. At that time, podcasts, sort of knowledge wasn't as proliferated as now. Maybe it was, I couldn't know, I don't know. But the point that I'm trying to make is, I actually went out of my way and started reading and educating myself. That's why I enlisted in MBA. That's what I knew, right? But it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Even if you pick a book, even if you get a course, whatever it is, the point is seeking knowledge outside of what you already know. Now, for me, I was a competent network engineer. I was a computer engineer, so I knew everything that I needed to know about that field. So I wanted to know business. The world told me MBA. Now, it could be something else. I'm not saying do an MBA, but the point is, that's what I did, right? I can't remember I had a mindset per se, right? It's just do. You know what I mean? Like, whatever it is. I'm not saying do an MBA. I'm not saying go to the gym. I'm not saying don't pick up the sugar bar. Eat sugar to your heart content. It's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying you do. Huh? Don't do that. But what I'm saying is just there's a reason why one of the biggest slogans on the face of the earth is Nike's just do it.
Yes.
I mean, since the 60s or 70s, and still until now, they're not even daring to change it.
It's so powerful,
Because it's true. Because just freaking do it. You know what I mean? And if you do it, now, I mean, the intention is to reach to peak performance, and this is what you've probably contacted me for, and this is what you hope to achieve, communicate to your audience. Peak performance is a lengthy, tiresome, filled with ups and downs, absolutely stressful, absolutely uncomfortable journey. And that's the point. Journey. And that's why I don't like, I know that peak performance is something there's nothing called peak performance, because you never reach to the peak. There's no peak. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, like,
okay.
No, carry on now.
No, I'm interested. I mean, there's
I'll
no
tell you,
peak, because there's always, I mean, if I say today, I am better than yesterday, forever, perpetually, when is going to be the peak? There's no peak, because I'm always better. I'm always better. When I'm 80, I'm better when I'm 70. When I'm 70, I'm better than when I'm, so there's no peak, because the peak means you reach somewhere and then now you're coming down. You know what I mean?
100%. But I remember just one of my earliest experience was in Vodafone UK, and they gave us a training about how to bring our A game every day at work. It was a very hard job as a call center in the UK, and it's very draining, emotionally draining. And the idea is not to reach, of course, it's not the peak, and it's always be the peak, but the idea is how can you bring the best that you can bring each and every day.
Yes, which is a journey. That's what I'm trying to say.
100%.
So you don't arrive at a destination. You don't think of it. Now, you must have a plan. You must have goals. You must have a way to measure and track your progress towards that goal. And that goal has to be specific, has to be measurable, has to be at a certain time frame. And you need to know whether you're achieving it or not. Now, you never, ever, ever, ever look forward to achieving the goal, but you aim for it. You look forward for it today. Because if you look forward for the goal is outside of your control. There's an infinite number of variables that could go wrong, that will not allow you to reach your goal. And therefore, what have you done? You've just set up yourself for failure. And then you go into the cyclical, perpetual sort of frustration. and then you go down. And that's what people do. So set a goal, never, ever, ever look for it. Don't look forward to it. Just aim for it. But look forward for today and the day after and the day after. And as long as every day you're growing on a path that you have set for yourself, not someone else who set it for you. And even if someone else is setting it for you, at least you comprehend it, you understand it, you accept it, you get the buy-in for it, and absolutely aligns with everything that you need, right? Whatever it is. But the point is, you keep on doing what you're doing every day. No fail. The goal will happen, because this is how life works. This is the process of life. You put a seed, you feed it with water, with sun, with oxygen, with whatever it is that you have to do. It will grow. It will sprout. It will grow. That's how life works. The problem is, because of this type of discussions about mindset and fluff and motivation, and which is important, don't get me wrong there, but it's not the focus. Those are the pads. Those are the, how do I say it? It's like, I heard it the other day from a friend of mine. When you buy a car, do you buy it because of the tires?
No, of course.
Of course not. But can you buy a car without tires?
No.
That's what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't come up with this just in case. I've heard this from someone else. But the point is, that's the point. But imagine if you come in as like, the tires. Can I have it in this? And that's like, wait, the engine, the
important
comfort,
stuff.
the important, like there's something far more important, but that doesn't devalue
the
the
other
importance
things.
of the mindset, or in this case, in our analogy, the tire. You know what I mean? Like, it's as important. It's actually, I'll tell you, it's very, very important. It's exactly like a tire on a car. Now, if I would technically define mindset, mindset is the interpreter that you see the world with. So let's say, for example, I'm speaking to you now. Your mindset decides what I am doing to you now. Am I being aggressive? Am I pushing you? Or am I engaging with you? Or am I just trying to push an agenda? You know what I mean? That's your mindset. Remember, you said something, and I love what you said. You said, I have control over how I perceive things. That's mindset. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's mindset. And you have to be aware of it. Because if you have the highest EQ, so my philosophy is two things. And this is my mindset, right? So if you ask me about my mindset is two things, and two things only. Everything else is not mindset. Absolute positive regard, high EQ.
No, tell me more.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah.
Everything else is not mindset. But if I need to have mindset, is absolute positive regard and extreme high EQ on a growth trajectory. I never arrive, right? So absolute positive regard is, I always, at any point in my life, no matter what the person in front of me is doing, whether directly or indirectly, I regard them in the absolute positive intention. Right? So let's say you're talking to me now, and you are super aggressive, and probably you're borderline, disrespectful, whatever.
Okay.
I will always think that there's something beyond what I'm seeing now. Maybe you went through a rough day, maybe you have problems, whatever it is. Right? That's absolute positive regard. I'm not going to dig deep. And now, let's say for whatever reason, you actually were disrespectful to me. You actually were harmful to me. Then I have high EQ. This is me, and this is whatever we're talking about. I detach. I was like, okay, what do you mean my personality is not right? What do you mean I'm this and that? And I actually detach and look at it and take, because there's no smoke without fire, right? So there's a reason why you did what you did, whatever it is that I triggered it, even if it's unwarranted, mind you, but still, I will look at it from that perspective. And that's my interpreter. The lens that
the lens that you see the world with.
So it goes through that. And that makes me happy. Now, everything else, and that makes me in full control over my reaction.
And it fuels your peak performance as well.
Absolutely. Because listen, peak performance is about your mental capacity to actually keep on growing, right? Now, if your capacity, and you have, let's say your capacity is 100%, right? This is that, like 100 points. My intention is to make sure that the 100 points is, as capacity, is always fueled to make me grow, not to make me weather or shield or react or go into any negative emotion, right? And the only way to do that is disregard. Not even let it in, you know? And the way to do it is through a mindset of absolute positive regard and extreme high EQ. When I say extreme high EQ is, we're only humans, right? We're not stones. So every day we keep on growing, we keep on learning. And every day, by the end of the day, I just sit and say, okay, I spoke to Jamal today. I spoke in a way that, you know what, I shouldn't have spoken this way. I keep on replaying the same scenario, but in the best possible version of myself in my mind. Now, what that does to me is it sort of makes me forget that incident that happened and my reaction and replace it with that best possible version of myself. And now that becomes my new version of myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you are a baggage of your experiences, right? Now imagine if you have the ability to go back and hack your own experience, your own memory.
Yeah,
that's
it's so powerful. Yeah. And by the way, I just want to share this with you. Your mindset is so hard. Like while I'm listening to you, like I'm thinking if I can adapt something like that. I see it like so hard because I just only can imagine the amount of effort it takes to have this idea of absolute positive regard. It's really hard nowadays, and it requires a lot of self-growth and self-improvement on your, like the working that you're doing on yourself. And I want to ask you about what are maybe few things that you do it on daily or weekly basis to fuel that. So yeah, what are maybe like tasks or things that you do to fuel this absolute positive regard? Because right now it's so hard, and at the end of the day we all has capacity. And I guess I captured one of them, maybe that you sit with yourself late at night to try to visualize what happened in a different
no, I think the recipe is you get 3 milligrams of apple cider vinegar, you add to it. No, so listen, you know, I kid about this, but this is true. I mean, not the apple cider vinegar, well, that, but you have to make sure that you're aware of what goes into your system, right? Because you know, we always hear the healthy mind in the healthy body. I would say the healthy mind, the healthy mindset is in the healthy body. So there's a massive element of you feeling fresh, feeling young, feeling healthy, feeling fit to be so, because it's the soil, right? So that's number one. You know, sleep, diet, whatever it is, workout. So this, I'm not going to talk about it. Everybody's talking about it, so that's fine. But it's absolutely true. What
just
to do? Yeah,
go ahead. Sorry to
go
ahead.
Go ahead.
Just a question, out of curiosity.
Yeah.
Is there a problem to talk about something if a lot of people outside there is talking about it?
Not a problem, but I mean, it's, how do I say it? You ask and I'll answer. It's just that I don't want to repeat, because I mean, I respect the viewer's time. And if everybody's talking, oh, you know what, you have to eat protein, you don't have to eat sugar. Of course, I mean, it's like telling a smoker, don't smoke. Yeah. Smoking kills. Come on, you don't do that. You know, like it's kind of repetitive in a kind of sitting on a high tower telling people I don't like to receive them. You know, I like to respect the intelligence of the viewers, especially your viewers, by saying things that would actually add value, not just repeat and parrot what everybody else is saying. That's it. But if you want me to say, just ask.
No, I would be surprised, honestly, if you told me to that eating protein is a priority for you, and we're talking about this on a peak performance context, because I will never expect this on a peak performance context.
No, okay.
I will expect it more in like workout or gym kind of thing.
So let's kind of let's just quickly run through the health stuff, right? So it starts with sleep. You must sleep every day between 7 to 8 hours. And not just 7 to 8 hours accumulated, 7 to 8 hours quality sleep. So my sleep, for example, if I tell you about my own sleep pattern, my sleep sort of pattern starts at 8:30 I'm knocked out, 4 a.m. I'm up. So between 8, 7.5, 7 hours every day, no fail, including weekends. You cannot just stay up on one day. Because, by the way, if you stay up one day, it wrecks you for 2 weeks ahead, at least for me, right? So, and I'm talking about peak performance, your absolute sort of mental capacity that is able to allow you to produce, but also to grow, right? Now, if you're an average, mediocre person who wants to get by and, you know, achieve their KPIs and do whatever, of course it won't affect me, because I can hear you two subscribers are saying, I sleep 2 hours and I'm fine with it. Of course you're fine with it, it's fine. But are you at your peak performance? Did you try? Did you try the alternative?
Like before and after kind of thing.
Exactly. So that's fine. Anyway, so 7 to 8 hours, this is my personal experience, but also what everybody else is saying. But I'm trying it. So this is one. Second, food. So the diet has to be, in my opinion, absolute protein. No sugar, no carbs, as much as possible, of course, but it's high on protein. Simply because I think our system becomes far more fresh, healthy, regenerative, but also filled with energy when we have healthy proteins. Not protein bars, like proper proteins, right? Proper quality proteins. And not the protein shakes, because those are all a scam, and like I've tried them personally with and without, and do nothing. It just bloats you. And just quality protein, steak, chicken, fish,
whole food,
whole food, exactly. Minimize as much as possible the carbs. Minimize as much as possible, and this can come a little controversial. Minimize as much as possible vegetables, because we're not meant to digest vegetables, my friend. We're not cows. Our digestive system is supposed to have protein, of course, with vegetables and carbs and everything else, and fat, but mainly protein, right? So that's number one. So you have the sleep, you have the diet, and of course you have the exercise. And by exercise, I mean predominantly resistance. So if you're not able to do at least 20 push-ups, if you're not able to do at least 5 pull-ups, if you're not able to do at least 5 handstand push-ups, if you're not able to do at least, let's say, your weight five times deadlift, right? If you're not able to do that, then you have to really take a good look at yourself and set those as goals, because this is the bench, this is kind of the floor. You know what I mean? Like if you're not able to carry your own weight, you have a problem. That's my motto in life. If you're not able to carry your own weight, not a Olympic bar with I don't know how, no, your own, whatever your own weight now. Why am I saying this? Reduce your weight. You will carry less weight. Carry less weight. It doesn't have, like, if you weigh, I don't know, 200 kilos or 150 kilos, reduce your weight to 60 or 70. You'll carry. You'll be able to carry it. But you want to be 150, then you better be able to carry 150. You know what I mean? Like kilos. So anyway, so those are the 3 things. So that's it. That is the recipe, or let's say the soil foundation for peak performance. Without that, you will never. And I can bet you my own career, my own name, my own brand, my own everything on it. You can never have peak performance. Look at every successful person now exists. Whether it's Jeff Bezos, even the late Steve Jobs, everybody. You will never see someone who's overweight. Give me one person who's overweight.
Yeah, once they start having way money and becoming more billionaires, right now all of them are shredded.
Is that an excuse I hear there?
No, it's not intended.
Is that an excuse? What I'm trying to say is, it doesn't matter when or where or how or why or whatever, right? The point is, everybody from Mark Zuckerberg to Jeff Bezos to even Elon Musk to everybody else, look at them, to Joe Rogan, everybody in anywhere in the world, right? I'll tell you what, now I hear the couple of people are saying, oh, those are in the West. Look at Fadi Ghandour. He's 65-year-old. He swims every day more than me. He lifts weight. Look at Rabi Ataya, CEO of Bayt.com. He is as fit as you can get. And he's almost in probably mid-50s or something, right? So look at success, like meaningful, successful people. Not someone who got inheritance from his daddy or his mommy. That's not wrong with them, right? But I mean meaningfully successful people who substantively did something to make them grow to achieve peak performance that we all look up to. They're all healthy and fit. So anyway, so that's the foundation.
Quick question. Yes, quick question.
Go ahead.
When I was trying to have this episode with you, I was really happy to see that you limit your notification, like your WhatsApp status is about like you are not always active on WhatsApp or something like that.
True.
How do you manage your access to smartphone?
So now there's another. So there's one. So we established the foundation. One level up is how distracted you are. We live in a time where distraction is the norm, right? And this comes to our mental health. So our physical health is important, but then now is our mental health. It's exactly like if I ask you now, like if you've never done push-up in your life, and I ask you to do a push-up in your life, and now there is no way on the face of the earth that you'll be able to pull 5 or 10 push-ups. There's no way. It's the laws of, if you've never done a pull-up, you'll never be able to do a pull-up. Similarly, if you've never had a long, uninterrupted, creative time, you know what's creative time? It's your ability to sit and create. Whatever it is, a presentation, a document, a strategy, creative time. Because you need 2-3 hours of sitting uninterrupted. If you've never done it, and all you do is consume this 5-second, 10-second on social media, and every time you do something, you're distracted, and you'll never do it. You know what I mean? So your capacity to actually produce sellable, high value, high ticket, content or things or productivity that people will pay you good money for, you'll never be able to do it because of how much distracted you are. And that's the norm. Every time it's like you're looking at you go into the elevator, you can't stand still. You pick up your phone and look at it. You sit in the car while you're driving, you go into a traffic light, you pick up your phone. You can't sit still for a long period of time. So that's distraction. And that's your mental capacity that is shrunk in a way that doesn't allow you to actually have quality production time, value time. And that's distraction. So for me, I take extreme care of my mental quality of ability to do things. And that's only can happen if I have zero distractions. That's why all of my notifications are always, I go and check them. I don't allow it to check me. So I go. Now, I might be doing nothing and I'm just going through them. That's fine. But when now, if I'm sitting in a discussion like this, or a strategy, or a meeting, or reading a book, or writing something, I can never allow anything to distract me.
And I guess it's also aligned with your value of being independent, that you're not going to be influenced. You decide when you're going to be exposed to it.
Absolutely.
And right now we're building like the Dr. Usama's hierarchy of peak performance. We started with the foundation, the physical part, your body.
Okay,
now we build the mind, not get distracted, more focused. Okay, what's the third step?
So the third step is goals, purpose. Yeah. What is it that you want to be? What is it that you want to achieve? If you, like they say, if you don't know where you're going, then all roads will get you there, right? And what I mean by that is real, meaningful plan that is not carved in stone, but at least you know exactly. So if I ask you now, if you're now, Jamal, on your deathbed, 99 years or 95 years,
okay,
what would you want to say, I've done it?
I would say I want to have impacted a lot of people's life, that I build a strong family, healthy family. And I lived a life worth living. I don't know what it is now, but I guess that's always
and that's the key. You don't know, right? Which is a good thing. That is your step. This is my number one step. Now I want to know. Because the more you know you don't know. And the more the things that you don't know, the more excited I get, because now I have things to know. And the more I know I don't know. And then I get more excited and I want to know. And I get more knowledge. But the problem is you don't know what you don't know. So what do? You know what I mean? Like, it's so crazy. But the point is, it starts with the acknowledgement of I don't know. So for me, I need to be sure, what do I want to achieve this year? Which will feed. So what do I want to achieve today? Which will feed into what do I want to achieve this week? Which will feed into what do I want to achieve this month, this quarter, this year, this 3 years, this 5 years, this 10 years, this lifetime. Now, I start with the lifetime, and this is my purpose. And I'm extremely clear about it. I have to be clear about it. And then I work backwards. And then I know exactly in 10 years what I want to do. Exactly. And then I know exactly in 5 years what I want to do. And then I know exactly what I want to do in 1 year. I know exactly what I want to do in 1 month, 1 week, today. That has to link with each other. It has to have this through line, and it has to be meaningful and substantive to me. It has to have meaning. Now, You said impact, fine. Someone else might not have an impact, maybe something else. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. There's no sort of blueprint of, okay, these are, okay, you go to ChatGPT, give me the top 10, you know, like the purposes in life.
This bed wishes.
That bed wishes. Like it doesn't
me
work.
choose.
It has to align with something inside of you. Everybody has a natural disposition in them. Everybody. And that's what makes us exciting as human beings. Right?
100%.
Makes us exciting and unique. So know that first. And by the way, if you think that you're delusional enough to sort of, you know what, I'll read a book, or, you know, tomorrow I'll be able to, that's a lifetime of, sometimes people live a lifetime of journey just to know, what is it they want to achieve. It took me 10 years. You know what I mean? So once you have that purpose clear and you have the plan to achieve that purpose, so specific, from lifetime to 10 years to 5 years to 3 years to 1 year to 1 month to 1 week to today. And how when I wake up today, it actually, meaningfully and substantively, not performatively, not decoratively, not a post on LinkedIn to get the 2 likes or the 10 likes or the 2 seconds of fame, not that, an actual, meaningful act or behavior or something that you have to do or not do, but you know exactly how it links to that. And that plan is the step 1. So if you don't know that plan, then that's a good thing. That really is a good thing. And by the way, if you're young, and I say this to all of your viewers, if you're young, if you're in your 20s, if you're in your teens, if you're in your 30s even, and you ask that question and you don't know, I envy you. Because I knew a bit late in my life, right? I wish I go back in time, and like, this is why I tell my daughters every day. Like, if I remember myself when I would say 14, 15, 16, 18, 20. I remember I was hungry, but I didn't know any better. You know?
Yeah.
I didn't know any better. Now it's easy for people to know. So if you don't know, I envy you, because at least you know what you don't know. The problem is when you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, this is so powerful. And now if you allow me to ask you the same question you asked me about the deathbed wish.
Oh, I don't know. no, listen.
Out of curiosity,
I'll tell you what. So, I wish I'm able to help a village somewhere. So this is my kind of, I can picture it. There's a village somewhere remote that are completely underprivileged, completely underserved, that I'm able to be there and just build that village inside out with everything that comes with it. So that village becomes so prosperous. That village becomes so sort of economically at a lifestyle where a human being, like, with dignity, right? That's what I want to do. I want to have the ability, the resources, the power, the knowledge, the influence to build a single village. That's it.
No, I really love how you visualize it. Like, I can see it. Like, once you say it,
doesn't matter where it is. It's not, building a well. It's not, getting, I don't know, like how to transform water. I don't care what it is. Economic prosperity and development that allows them to sustainably and independently grow and live a lifestyle where they're able to meaningfully contribute to the world. That's my vision. Where this village is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be in Asia, Europe, Africa, Middle East, doesn't matter. At least one village, right? And I have the resources, the capacity, the knowledge, the influence, the power to actually do it, and do it meaningfully and sustainably.
So sweet. Now you made my deathbed wish so lame. Impact. What is it?
don't you see,
I'm joking.
The thing is, everybody starts from a general, but the key is knowing that it's too general. You have to be very specific and very meaningful, and most importantly, it has to align to you, right? Now, you might ask me why. I have no idea. It's just me, You could be something else. Your death wish may be building a cottage on a mountain in the Alps and just living with your loved ones, and that's it. It doesn't have to be giving back. I mean, this kind of overrated concept of giving back is sometimes so performative and lame and so
Cliche,
cliche, exactly, like borderline cringeworthy, Just do you, whatever it is that you, as long as you're doing you, whatever it is. Now, I believe in why am I saying this? Because I believe in the net positive of people, and I believe in the laws of averages, meaning if everyone does that, you will have enough people to do impact that you don't have to worry about it. You know what I mean?
Everyone has to be themselves in order for us to be all good.
Do you? Be happy, be compassionate, be on a growth, know what you want to achieve. Don't just be someone who's just going and, know exactly. Because it always starts from awareness. It's just knowing. And the problem is, if you think you know, then absolutely you don't know. You know the Dunning-Kruger effect? Have you heard of it?
Yeah, I've heard of it. Like the dumb people have seen. But say it, please.
No, you're right. Dumb people are so dumb to realize their own dumbness. Stupid people are so stupid. Ignorant people are so ignorant to realize their own ignorance. So how do I know that I'm not at the peak of Dunning-Kruger? You know what I mean? Like, if the definition of the Dunning-Kruger effect is that you're so ignorant to realize your own ignorance, then hold on a second. What if I am ignorant and I don't realize it? You know what I mean? Like,
true, 100%.
I don't know. And there's no way to know. There's no way to know. Like, okay, but well,
there is a way.
I don't know. Like it's very difficult. It's extremely philosophical. It's like colors or taste. Like you say, oh, it tastes good. I taste is like it doesn't taste good. It's like, okay, what defines good or bad? I mean, you don't know. You'll never know. You know what I mean? Like, of course, what I mean is it's a journey, and as long as you're on the path, I'm content. As long as I'm on the path, I'm content. As long as I'm aware of it, and it starts with seeking awareness, and you'll never achieve it. But at least the mindset, go back to the mindset of always seeking awareness, always inquiring, always asking, not telling, not giving excuses, not responding, not reacting, but inquiring, just asking.
Okay, I know you want to have your thoughts about the enemies of performance. Like, what for you, when you say, like, if you're going to list, what are the enemies of performing on a high standard or peak performance?
Just you. There's nothing else. Just you. No one. I mean, I was speaking with a friend of mine yesterday. I was like, oh, I don't have time to go to the gym. I don't have time. And, he wants to go to the gym. I'm not asking him to go to the gym. And he's giving excuses that, you know what, I can't go to the gym. Okay. Do you have a floor? Yeah. What's stopping you from doing a push-up? Like that, and it doesn't take more than. I mean, by the way, I don't go to the gym. Just for the record, I don't go to the gym at all. I just sometimes I do 5 to 6 times, 40 to 50 push-ups and 40 to 50 squats. I have a pull-up bar in my office, so I do kind of 10, 20, 30 pull-ups a day. I have a rope climb, so I just climb a rope. I have a couple of dumbbells and a couple of kettlebells, 24 kgs.
All of that in the office.
Home, it's just scattered, whatever it is. And this might come a bit funny, but if you see me running in the street, don't get scared. Sometimes I like to run. Just so if I park away from where I want and I run to where I want. That's it. Not because I'm like late or because I want to arrive early. No. I just use the time to run. I never ever take the elevators except when it's to my apartment. It's a very high tower. But in my office, it's almost five stories. I never take the elevator. I always take the stairs. Whenever I can, I take the stairs. I never take the escalators. If there's an escalator and a stair, I take the stair. You know what I mean? That's little things. And that's it. That's all you need to do. Push-ups, pull-ups, get a couple of dumbbells, just do a couple of, whatever it is that you want to do. Just, of course, you have to be mindful. You have to get a coach. I got a coach, a perfect coach, Tana Shak, who's been my coach for almost one-to-one personal with groups for 10 years before I kind of stopped being in the gym. So I learned everything I need to know about my body, how to train, not get injured. It's a bit dangerous, so you have to be careful about it. But the point is, there's no excuse. Just do it.
Oh, yeah, I'm really shocked because I was expecting a list of like maybe 5 or 6 or 7 enemies of performance.
No, it's just you.
And you just you.
Just you.
But it's
just
true, yeah. It's all
yourself.
Executions in your mind.
Ultimate personal responsibility. Period. Life is about ultimate personal responsibility. We have brains. We should just make sure that we're operating on brain more than emotions and heart 90% of the time. The problem is, and this is, I read it somewhere, obviously it's not my field of research, but they say that 90% of your decisions a day is done through emotions, not reason. Because you have emotional way of making decisions, and you have reason, logic. If your 90% decisions are executed through emotions, and guess what? Emotions will always allow you to, you know what, let me just stay a little later in bed. Let me stay a little late, watching this Arcane 2, which is, by the way, released yesterday. I can't wait to see it. But, on Netflix. So it's just that, no, make sure that you take ultimate personal responsibility. Make sure that you are able to use your brain, your reason, your logic, your prefrontal cortex,
The one responsible for the logic,
the decision and logic, not your amygdala, the one that we share with our, animal kingdom, to make the right decision. And that's it. You and yourself, and that's it. Nothing else. I mean, we see now sad stories from war-torn countries like in Gaza and Lebanon and everything else. If they can persevere, seriously? And by the way, it's not a privilege. It's an obligation to actually take personal responsibilities because you can. You know what I mean?
100%, yeah.
It's an obligation. Someone else cannot do it. And you can, and you're letting go of that. That actually makes me angry. You know what I mean? Like, it makes me angry when I see someone wasting time and not reading a book and developing themselves. When I see someone sitting on their couch watching Netflix and binge watching and just actually not developing themselves or going to the gym and being stronger. It doesn't happen overnight. You know what I mean?
True, yeah. The realization of the prosperous situation that we are in makes us more responsible to actually do more.
Absolutely. And it's not forwarding some sad image or liking or commenting angrily on some post online that makes you an activist. That's not activism. Resistance can take many forms, not just by, fighting, but also by educating and developing yourself, becoming stronger version of yourself every day. So when the time comes and you actually have to do something, you're able to do it. When the time comes and I have to speak on a podcast, I'm able to conduct myself in a way that makes an impact. Not try to performatively do it just to make sure that I get a clicks or PR, or, you know what I mean? And that takes time. And time cannot be, you cannot cheat time.
No, I love that. This is so powerful. Well, this episode was for me like...
I thought you were going to say, this episode is sponsored by...
No, I wish. Not sponsored.
Soon.
No, like, this episode for me, like, it was... it changed a lot of things in my mind within the episode itself. Okay. It was challenging for me. And I love it, yeah. I love it. Okay. I love it so much. Dr. Usama, thank you so much for coming here today. And if people wanted to know more about you or your work, how they can find you.
There's only one Usama Nuri in the world. It's just Google now. If anyone Googles Usama Nuri, they'll definitely LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, they'll find me. It's fine.
Okay.
You see, I strongly, I don't believe in me pushing. I strongly believe, and this is the last message that I want to tell people, right? There's a concept that I read in a book 2010. It was 2010 when I read it. I can't remember. I think it's the $100 million consultant, something like that. I think, it's a $100 million consultant by Alan Weiss. It's a good book. Now it's dated a bit, but it's a good book. It had a concept called you have to build your own gravitational power. So you don't go and ask people to come. You work on your own core and strength of your core. So you're actually not just crust. You have something. Sometimes you carry something is like, whoa, this thing is heavy, although it's small. It's like it has a strong core. So the more substantive your core, the more your gravitational power, the more people get attracted to you.
To attract, not to push.
Not just not to push, not to call people to come to you. You know what I mean? Like, the good thing is people need people. We always are in need of people. We always need people to help us. And, and it's always reciprocal, right? So if someone feels and sees value in anything I'm saying or doing and wants to connect with me, they can find me. And when there's a will, there's a way. And I'm only interested in people who are substantively, even if it's one, even if it's no one, I don't care, who actually want to change their life, they can find me.
Mhm.
Otherwise, thank you.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. And yeah, thank you. Thank you,
Reach for
everyone.
growth, reach for more. Performance marketing hardcore. Tune in, listen.